Beale Street. I've been on Beale Street before. Spent a little time at Silky O'Sullivan's joint, having a lot of fun, dancing up a storm. I loved it.
Yeah, it was belly to belly in downtown Memphis last night, and now the crowd is beginning to file in here. As we wait for the walkouts, let's take a look at a couple of fights which represent key junctures in the careers of Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson and raise both questions and perhaps answers about them. We'll start in Madison Square Garden in early summer of 1996 on a night when Bobby Ches fought Evander Holyfield, and then in the main event on that card, Lennox Lewis fought a tough 10-round battle with Ray Mercer, ultimately won on a razor-thin split decision by Lewis. And Bobby, a lot of people thought this fight showed Lewis's vulnerability against a really tough guy, but others saw it as a mark of his ability to respond under pressure.
Well, he responded under pressure well. I thought he just barely outpointed Ray Mercer, but I don't think Ray Mercer trained well enough for that fight. Mike's not going to come in anything less than perfect shape, is my assumption, with a fighter as big and as dangerous as Lennox. But Mercer rocked him regularly, and that says something because we still believe Mike is the hardest puncher, even harder than Ray.
This was a fight in which Lewis's delicate chin was tested and weathered the storm. Is Mercer a big puncher?
I'll tell you what, I was sparring with Ray once, 18-ounce gloves and a headgear. I thought a piece of cement fell out of the ceiling, Jim. He does hit hard, but I was lucky enough to recover well, but he really does punch well.
Lennox Lewis was ultimately able to win the 10th round of that fight and gain victory, he says, largely through the advice of Emmanuel Stewart, who helped him get through what was probably the toughest fight that Lennox Lewis ever won. Let's turn to the career of Mike Tyson and the question of how Tyson has done against taller fighters. We're going to take a look at a 12-round fight from relatively early in Mike's career, 1987, against former heavyweight champion Tony Tucker. And some see this fight, Bobby, as evidence that Tyson has had difficulty finishing larger opponents like Tucker.
Right, but the key here is he went to 12 rounds. He won probably 10 of the 12 rounds. I was at that fight. Tucker's tough. Tougher than Lewis, probably. Not as good a boxer, not as good as a puncher, but probably tougher than Lewis. He took some tremendous shots. He never really staggered, never really went down. But Mike was there throwing for the full 12 rounds. That's the key. If this fight goes late and Mike is still in shape, he still can win a decision.
Further action from 1987, the much younger Mike Tyson against Tony Tucker. You can see that Tucker landed a couple of big shots in this fight. Nobody has ever really questioned Tyson's chin. Tyson has indeed been twice a victim of knockout loss, but not as the result of one punch. And there you see a graphic which suggests that against larger fighters, Tyson usually fights a longer fight. Against shorter fighters, many more quick knockouts. But then again, Bobby, some of the taller fighters he fought were simply better than the smaller guys.
So that's true. If you have talent, whether you're tall or you're short, you're going to bring it to the table and use it to the best of your ability. And it's, again, when you're tall, when you got that reach and height, it acts as a built-in defense. It makes it tough.